So I've owned the Volvo for about 2 weeks now. So far, is it worth it? Hey guys, welcome back to Shifting Lanes. I'm Chad. That's our Volvo C30, aka the Type R Slayer, hopefully. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the 2 weeks I've actually owned this car. It's only been 2 weeks, so I'm going to walk you through. Am I still in love with it? Do I still think it has the potential to take down a Type R? All of that fun stuff. Before we get into all that, I want to take a second and thank our sponsor on this video. That is FCP Euro. If you're unfamiliar with them, they're an online parts supplier for European cars. I've used them when I had the BMW. Greg has been using them for both of his Volvos, and we're definitely going to be using them for our little C30 there. They have an enormous parts selection. I mean, it's out of this world. If you have a European car and you need parts, they should be first on your list. And they offer a lifetime warranty on all wear items, and that includes motor oil, brakes, clutches, all of that. Here's the best part. Say your brakes, they wear out, you drive your car, that happens. They will replace them for you for free. That's not some special offer. You don't have to put in some discount code. That's just how they do business. So, why aren't you shopping at FCP Euro is the bigger question. So, thanks to them again, and let's get into it. So, as you guys may know, or may remember from my first video, I bought this car from a private seller who lived out in Michigan. So, whenever you buy a car from out of state, it's a little tricky getting it back to you. Now, you have one option, which is to just have it shipped. You have another option of just flying out there and driving it back. Or, if you're lucky like me and you have an absolute legend like Rick, they drove the car out to me. Even before I actually had the car in my possession, it proved to be something of a pain. Not so much Volvo's fault or any previous owner's fault on this. State of New Jersey apparently have something against us. I got my main man Alex over here. We are currently occupying space in a 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Why are we in a Jeep? Well, today is the day where I'm actually going to pick up my, I shouldn't say brand new, my new to me 2008 Volvo C30 T5. So as you guys may remember, Greg had a bit of an ordeal registering the Atacama Blue, or I'm sorry, the Magic Blue with the Atacama interior. Bear with me, I'm new to Volvos. I'm going to make a lot of those mistakes. He had an issue registering it. Long, huge process. Ended up being some idiot somewhere at a DMV clicked the wrong box. Registering the C30 was actually easier than that, but not nearly as easy as it should have been. Go figure, you're dealing with the DMV. It's very, very rarely an extremely smooth process. So what happened for me was I get all the information. I have my title. I have my proof of insurance. I have my proof of sale, all that fun stuff. Just like I did with the BMW. Go down to the DMV, wait in line, fill out paperwork, go back, fill out more paperwork, wait online a little bit more. When I finally get to see a teller, they're like, oh, by the way, we can't register your car. It's under a salvage title, which I didn't know, previous seller didn't know. Nothing really had come up in the vehicle's history, lending us to believe that this car was anything other than what it appeared to be on paper, which was a clean, decent shape Volvo C30. So, being New Jersey, there's only select DMVs that can actually register a salvaged vehicle. At the second DMV, which was in Washington, New Jersey, go online, and I'm trying to get all my paperwork before this, so I do the right thing. I let this person go in front of me. Well, they just so happened to not be the sharpest tool in the shed and didn't quite understand what lien holder meant. So there was a nice 15-20 minute process of them trying to figure out who's making payments, where, for whom, and everything. And this person was like, no, I own the car. And they're like, no, the lien holder owns the car. I finally get up to the counter, talk to the lady. She hands me all her stuff, runs the VIN, and just looks at me dead in the eye and says, the Randolph DMV, which is the one I went to previously, the Randolph DMV is a bunch of idiots. Shocking. Right? At this point, now I'm starting to freak out because I'm like, okay, is it worse than I thought or is it better than I thought? And she goes, your car's fine. What ended up happening was the car was in an accident, which I knew. It was basically purchased by a third party that happened to have access or worked for or owned a junkyard. We couldn't really figure that out. But they had purchased it off the person who had their accident and fixed it outside of the insurance. So anyway, they finally... Oh, Alex just stole it.
Oh, no.
So finally, everything is now registered. The car is clean. It has a clean New Jersey title. Everything is good and as it should be. But registering a car is supposed to be easy, and for whatever reason, we seem to have fairly bad luck with that. The reason we're turning around is Alex, a friend of mine who I grew up with in this town, made the wrong turn going to where we need to be.
Hey man, it's been a while.
That it has. In Alex's defense, I didn't catch it, so we'll share blame on this one. But now for the exciting part, we're gonna hit the road, make correct turns now.
Maybe.
Hopefully. And go pick up the C30. I don't know what it is with the state of New Jersey and them not really wanting us to own more Volvos. But at least for me, it wasn't as big of a nightmare as it was for Greg. If you want to check out just how much of a pain in the ass it was to register our manual V70R, check this link up here. I'll put the link down below because he had an absolute nightmare. Luckily for me, the clerical error was spotted while I was in the office, and I didn't have to spend several weeks trying to register my car. Now that I've been driving it for a week, here are a few things that I've noticed. I will be going into greater detail as far as a review on the car and everything that's wrong with it in future videos, so definitely stay tuned for those. But right off the bat, biggest thing with this car that I have a problem with is this key fob. I don't know why it's designed this way. It's absolutely enormous if you compare it to my hand. I'd sincerely like to meet the man who designed this and said, yes, I can go home, job well done. I honestly, I got nothing for this thing. Not to mention it doesn't work, so I have to pull the actual physical key out to lock and unlock the car, which bit of a pain in the rear end. Just replace the battery, might have to go to the dealership, not the factory. Dealership to get this thing reprogrammed. Hopefully that doesn't cost a fortune. The other thing is the manual box. Now it is a manual, 6-speed. That's the M66 front-wheel drive variant. The M66 also came in an all-wheel drive variant. That's what we have in the VR. But the M66 and this, the shifter on it is ridiculously vague, and the throws are huge. Very similar to actually the M3 in the fact that you have like first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Hey, it must be a European thing. Never seen it on any other car, but it's a bit of a pain in the rear end. And in addition to that, you're not really 100% certain where you are in the throw of the lever when you're downshifting, especially if you're going from the odd gears down to an even gear. The third thing is there's actually a pretty decent vibration coming from actually this wheel right here. Not 100% sure. My gut says wheel hub. Gonna have to dive into that a little deeper. I'll definitely have what exactly is wrong with it in my next video, which is everything that's wrong with this car. As some of you may have pointed out in the last video, you thought that the paint was a slightly different color on this quarter panel as opposed to the hood and the door. You're absolutely correct. This car did have a front impact there, which has me slightly concerned, but not so much so that it's keeping me up at night, but definitely can't wait to see what's wrong in that area there. Sorry, didn't know what to do with my hands. As far as the driving dynamics, I really like the way this car sounds. The 5-cylinder engines Volvo makes sound epic. Can't wait to put a huge exhaust on there. The road handling, a lot of that is skewed due to the fact of these Achilles tires. Now, they have a ton of tread. They do okay, but they don't really hug the road, which really means I can't hammer on it like I really want to. Not that I would. It's been cold, wet around here, but it would be nice to take your new car and have quite a bit of fun with it. That's just a few things that popped out of me. I can see a ton of potential in this car. It's definitely going to be a riot to drive once we get a little more power, once we get an LSD in there, once we improve the suspension, wheels, tires, all that fun stuff. I cannot wait because you can really see that there's a good car in there just waiting to come out. And hopefully we keep moving along down the road, and by the end of this journey, we got something that'll take on the Type R. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I also want to thank FCP Euro again. Those guys are awesome. Definitely check out the link below. They're the first place you should go for any European parts. If you like the video, give us a little thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you're looking for us on social media, you can find Shifting Lanes at Shifting Lanes. You can find me at Kennedy83. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Find me there. If you want to represent Shifting Lanes, help us out with these builds, head down to our apparel shop. There should be a link down below. 100% of all of those proceeds go directly into our builds. So that's the best way you guys can help us out in making more awesome cars like this even more awesome. That's pretty much it for now, guys. Like I said, next video will come out next Friday. That will be everything wrong with this car, or at least everything wrong that I could find. Hopefully there's not too many surprises with this car lurking around corners waiting to surprise me. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.